Globalization runs through IT. Globalization, the process of increasing the connectivity and interdependence of the world's markets and businesses. This process has sped up dramatically in the last 2 decades as technological advances make it easier for people to travel, communicate, and do business internationally. Information technology and information systems form the largest and most rapidly growing sector the world has ever seen. By 2010, there will be 1 billion transistors per living human being. All of this technology has led to the ease with which anyone on Earth can communicate with anyone else almost instantly and reflects how far IT has come to unite business forces around the world and establish global marketplaces.
In its simplest form, globalization can be described as the elimination of world borders, such that each country becomes socially, politically, and economically interdependent with one another. In an ideal global community, economic globalization will lead to the emergence of a global marketplace, or a single world market. Depending on the paradigm, this can have both positive and negative effects on participating nations. For example, we Westerners are quite happy when we can purchase our name-label products for bargain prices. Nike shoes, Gap clothes, Sony PlayStations, Apple iPods, Toshiba laptops. These are but a few of the countless items people from the first world, including myself, have enjoyed purchasing for reasonable prices. The prices are kept low by the manufacturers because the items are produced in third world countries where labor costs are minimal. Transnational companies provide third world regions with technology and employment wages, and as a result of their financial investment, the employed workers can afford to feed, clothe, and shelter their families. In theory, the region should grow in prosperity and eventually start importing goods and services created or based in other countries, in addition to exporting goods and services created in their own.
As a result, some countries have benefited more so than others thanks to the creation and expansion of worldwide business-driven information systems and technologies, thanks to their surplus of cheap and trainable labor.
Dawn in India. A nation of 1 billion awakes. In Bombay, there is a human density unlike anywhere else. Compared to Manhattan, there are twice as many people in half the space.
India rising. India is widely regarded as the foremost benefactor of the IT boom over the past 20 years, with approximately 80% of the world's 500 largest companies already farming out some work to India, and outsourcing to Asia's third largest economy can typically generate cost savings of between 35 and 50%. Capitalizing on the opportunity presented to India has been slowed by bureaucratic hurdles from coast to coast. India's booming economy, GDP, is averaging a 7.5% increase over the past 7 years, propelled their stock market up 73% last year, making it the best performing Asian market after Thailand. Although India is only expected at a 6.2 in fiscal year 09 and a 6.1 in fiscal year 10, the Royal Bank of India will likely cut interest rates further to fuel the economic growth. Not all is well, though. Despite the abundance of cheap labor, as well as ever-developing and progressing technological fronts, problems still exist that require concerted effort on the human front to devise a manageable and executable solution.
I'd go further and say that over 80% of all the resources used are wasted.
If everyone, for example, were to live the life of the average American, we'd need at least 6 planets to sustain the number of people we have on Earth today.
About 93% of the stuff we extract from the planet never gets into a product in the first place. The car industry is about $1 trillion a year. It's the world's biggest industry. We can make safe, clean, and otherwise desirable cars at a competitive cost. Such a car has actually now been designed and built. It is so efficient that it can run at 89 kilometers an hour on the same energy that a normal car uses just for its air conditioner.
Yes, developing more environmentally friendly cars is a good idea, but developing a society, recreating an infrastructure which is less dependent on cars, encouraging small shops and so on, is the only real answer.
I have some sympathy with that because we've had so many bad technologies that were not well thought through, and some didn't even have good motives behind them. In fact, I once wrote a paper called Technology is the Answer, but what was the question?
If we turn to technology to deal with these problems, we're actually asking for a sort of band-aid solution, something that patches the leaks as they appear. In a real sense, we're doing nothing more than greening